And my aha moments for food reporting came in the summer of 2009. It was August, and I had invited the lobbyist for that little company called Cargill to go to lunch and talk about their hamburger business. And I thought he would take me to the best steakhouse in Washington, and I could send the New York Times one of the bills like Mimi used to send to the New York Times for a really fabulous steak lunch. Or that was Johnny Apple, the really fabulous. Yeah, anyway. Instead, we go to like this crummy restaurant and this crummy hotel because it turns out he doesn't really eat lunch. And we open up this plastic 20-page menu that's clearly going to be coming from frozen product in the kitchen. And before I could say anything or think about it, he goes to the waiter, "I'll have the cheeseburger." And the problem with this was I was already into my reporting on the safety problem with hamburger. So I already knew that a hamburger in this kind of a place wasn't the hamburger you typically think it is. It wasn't a hunk of the cow's shoulder. It was an amalgam of scraps from cows collected from all over the world and assembled in what the industry calls the least cost formulation. And I also knew that some of those scraps were so exposed to E. coli that they created a product that had to use just a little bit of ammonia to make it safer. And yet still it wasn't safe. And so I'm sitting there kind of hemming and hawing. And it was August and humid and hot, and I really just wanted a salad, but I didn't want to send like the wrong signal to Cargill because more than anything in the world, I still wanted Cargill to talk to me about this hamburger store I was working on. So, so I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to order. But then, before I could say anything, he turns back to the waiter and he goes, "And I'd like mine well done, please." And that was one of these beautiful moments for a journalist because he knew what I was finding out, which is that you had to cook hamburger into shoe leather, into to avoid kind of the role of the dice that food safety had become in hamburger. And so, I gladly said, "Yeah, I'll have one of those too, and cook mine well done, and lots of French fries, please." And knowing that sort of he knew what I was finding out was incredibly empowering to me as a reporter because then I could really unleash the guns and not only sort of go after the meat industry, but it also sort of told me that there were fantastic secrets inside this $1 trillion processed food industry that if I could just get some of their key players to open up and reveal some secrets like the lobbyists for Cargill did in that lovely lunch, it would be a really fun line of reporting.